Hey, how's it going? Checking in with my daily update, steps taken towards the speaking goals. And it's been very much a thinky day today, listening to podcasts whilst getting on with more general things like shopping and raking up leaves and fun, not boring, but fun things like that. But actually, something that did come up yesterday as I was interviewing a guest for my podcast. We're actually talking about High Rocks, which is this fitness racing event that I've been doing, and I was interviewing somebody else who does a lot of this and writes a blog on the topic as well. And we were talking about mindset and we were talking about approaches, and he interviews a lot of elite athletes in this space. And we're talking about what some of the things are that he's uncovered from what they have to say. And it really struck me that there's some potential here for some interesting insights that I could glean from some of the people who I've spoken to in the past, some of the people who I've not just worked with, but just friends of mine as well. And actually, a few years ago, before I did my 10 marathons in 10 days challenge, which must be, I think, possibly 7 years ago now. Prior to that, I had been contemplating writing a book on a very similar subject. And in fact, that was all part of the origin story of the 10 and 10, was that I was talking to a friend of mine about this idea I had of interviewing some of the elite performers, the elite ultra endurance athletes who are just personal friends of mine, and trying to distill down what some of their mindset, approaches, strategies, philosophies were. What was it made them not different, but allowed them to do these extreme things? And I was speaking to a friend about this idea, and he just suggested that maybe I just went out and did something myself instead of just interviewing other people, which is why I then decided to do the 10 marathons in 10 days. But actually, the idea of finding out from other people, other elite performers, what is it that drives them? What is it that motivates them? What is it that how do they keep themselves going, pushing forwards, even when they feel like most people would want to stop. How do they keep going? And I just think that there's probably some general interest in there, some lessons we can take in terms of motivation and pushing ourselves just that little bit harder, whether that's in sport and fitness or in more general business, other goals, weight loss goals, personal goals. I don't think it really matters. The strategies generally will apply to various other situations outside of the domain that it's you learn it in. I've certainly found that to be the case with some of the strategies I've got that I've developed over the years of doing ultra endurance and even training for 400 meters and 10K and marathons, not just the ultra endurance stuff, but just mindset strategies that I could distill down, and I do use in other areas as well. So I think that there's probably something in that idea. And I had this whilst I was interviewing this guy yesterday, Greg. It's a good podcast, actually. It's a good episode. Be going out in January. So I've been sort of mulling over a few ideas around that today and in the latter part of yesterday. So I think there should be some good stuff to come out of that. I'll have to think about how I can do it exactly. I don't think it's going to be a book particularly, but it could well be that I look at setting up some of these interviews myself, not just for the podcast, but to try to extract some of these ideas for maybe some kind of publication. I don't know yet. Anyway, there's my rambling, but also thought dump update for the day, because actually this could turn into something that is viable as either a keynote or even some kind of training session. I think it's more keynote-y because there's not really too much roll your sleeves up and do the work stuff, but it's quite thought-provoking, I think, and some useful insights from the world of the elite athlete. So there's my update for the day. As always, thanks for watching and thanks for listening. Bye for now.